on.
Not there. I'm on. Okay. Good evening, Burlington, and oh my God, is it good to be back. A very, very special edition of this Burlington and Beyond. Given, I'm sure you're all aware, given the virus, we have not been able to bring in the guests that we wanted. We are certainly hoping that in the near future we will. But tonight, by very special request, I got a message from Santa. He was going to be in town, wanted to know if he could stop in and say hello, leave a message to the people, especially the young people of Burlington. I had no way of refusing him. So here we are, a very special 1-hour show with Santa. He was gracious enough to stop by, and he looks terrific. He really looks terrific. I don't know what he is having for food and for energy and exercise, but he really looks good, and I'm very happy to welcome him here tonight. Thank you for coming, Santa, and thank you for calling me.
Well, thank you, Pat. I'm glad that we could do this and do it safe. There's enough distance between us, and
Yeah.
it seems like it was only yesterday we did this last year. It's amazing how fast a year
I was
flies
going to
by.
say 2 days, like 2 days ago that you were here. Yeah, it was wonderful to get your message. How
Yeah.
are you?
I'm doing all right. You know, this year has been a challenge for everyone, and Santa and his elves is certainly no exception, but we're making it through.
How is Mrs. Claus?
Mrs. Claus is doing wonderful. She's been the champion of the North Pole, making sure me and the elves are staying safe and staying healthy. She's the best.
Well, the elves are not, are they susceptible to this virus, or are they managing? I mean, I know you're traveling, so they must be okay.
Well, my good friend, Dr. Anthony Fauci, he gave me an exam, and he said that Santa Claus is immune somehow.
Oh, wow.
I guess that's the Christmas magic, but I guess I'm immune, but Mrs. Claus and the elves are not, so they have to stay safe. Mrs. Claus stays at home on Christmas Eve, as you know. The elves, sometimes they come with me when I visit the children of Burlington, or they ride the sleigh with me on Christmas Eve. They have to stay home this year.
Yeah. Wow, it's hard to believe that you're here. It really is. It's so difficult. It's a year ago already that you were here. You're kind enough to stop by in Burlington. We must be a special stop. Do you stop at every town, or is it pretty much when you can?
It's when I can, but I love visiting the town of Burlington. I love seeing the lights on the town common.
Yeah,
I love visiting the neighborhoods and seeing all the families' wonderful lights.
It must be quite a sight from up above to see those lights all over the common, all those colored lights.
You can see it from space.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
How are you worried about the virus? Are you coping with it? I mean, in terms of visiting homes, I know you're pretty much isolated when you go to a home, especially if you're using the chimney, but do you have any concerns, any special concerns, anything that you do that's special to take care of yourself? I know you have a good diet. I'm sure you eat well.
Milk and cookies have kept me healthy through the pandemic.
Okay. Whether they're left for you, you mean along the road?
Yes. Well,
okay.
I think it's safe to say that the children don't have to leave me milk and cookies this year. That's fine. You know, we have to take all our precautions.
Yeah.
My main priority is making sure all the boys and girls and their families are safe on Christmas. So
yeah.
If I have to go down through the chimney, I'll do my best. I will hand sanitize my hands. That's a bad joke.
You probably find, I would imagine you find that there's accommodations that are made where you visit. They leave hand lotion, or they leave extra masks for you if necessary.
Oh yes, instead of milk and cookies, I say leave me some hand sanitizer and some masks. That would be fine. And not every house has a chimney, you know, Pat. So if they want to leave a key for me in the mailbox or under the rock on the porch, that's fine. But also, if they don't feel comfortable with Santa coming in the house, that's fine. I perfectly understand that. And, you know, maybe on Christmas Eve, I'll just ring the doorbell, and then Mom and Dad can come pick up the presents right on the porch, and then I'll be on my merry, holly jolly way.
Merry holly jolly way. That is Santa lingo, it really is a pleasure to see you. And I especially am grateful. I think you probably know that we haven't done any shows under Burlington and beyond. So to be able to do one here tonight with you is really a special treat for me.
Well,
how do you find things in the world? I know not politically. That's a problem. It's an ongoing problem. It's one that'll never go away. But I mean, do you find people are happy, and kids in particular? I understand that the population of America has grown significantly, even over 1 year. You're probably getting all kinds of requests for toys and whatnot.
Well, the requests from boys and girls have changed so much over the years, you know, with technology, with video games and cell phones and such. So we definitely have to keep up with the times and what the kids want for Christmas. But this year, I know it's a challenge for all the boys and girls. Sometimes they have to stay home from school and talk to their teachers and their classmates on the computer. And even the adults have to stay home and talk to their coworkers on the computer. Even Santa, he can't visit all the boys and girls in person, so I'm learning how to use the computer and visit everyone. It's a challenge, but Mrs. Claus is helping me out, and I'm learning.
You're learning how to use the computer. Yeah. You're in the new age. I don't dare ask you how old you are, but I know that you've seen a lot of changes in society and in the way the kids grow and how they celebrate. And also, accordingly, the toys that you bring will have to reflect pretty much what they're looking for. Although I don't know, the little ones, the little characters up about 3-4 years of age, they're looking for enjoyment in old-fashioned toys still, I think. The others, am I on target? Is that pretty much what you see?
Absolutely. They're very happy with, they're learning to read at that age, so they like to get picture and storybooks. Their action figures and their dollies and toys. They're very young and impressionable at that age, so you don't want to throw a violent video game into a 3-year-old stocking. That's just not right.
Yeah. But then when you get up into 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds, they do have an awareness of technology in particular, and especially the use of a computer and all of the other modern toys, so to speak. And I suppose you too have to, you must have to do a lot of research at home in order to stock up and to prepare for these toys so that these kids are prepared, so you're prepared to give them what they need.
Oh yeah, Santa's on Twitter, so he always sees what's trending.
Is that how you get your messages?
Yes, and I have, well, not so much this year, but the elves are always visiting the world in disguise and seeing what's going on. They're not doing that so much this year, just to stay safe. So I have to rely on the news and the media to tell Santa what's going on in the world.
Are you able to tap into, what is actually happening on television? Do you have your own television? You're hooked up so that you know what's happening in the world?
Oh yes, we have cable up at the North Pole.
Yeah, and it gives you a pretty good idea of what kids are doing, what they're looking for, what their hopes are.
Oh yes.
The toy market in particular.
Absolutely.
Which has probably been a little bit more difficult than usual because my understanding is that there are a lot of companies that are simply not working. They're afraid of this virus. You're a very special gift this year because of the fact that the virus has been it's been almost devastating at times. So to have Santa show up is a big pleasure. I really appreciate it. I'm sure that a lot of kids do. Do you see any signs of, kids being extra happy, and especially since they're home and whatnot?
I know it's tough for everyone, not just boys and girls, but
Yeah.
for adults like us to not see our friends and our family all the time. So
Yeah.
it can be tough to keep smiling and to stay positive and to stay patient. But I think, and especially around this time of year, there's always a reason to smile. And I think we all just need to keep looking for those reasons to smile.
Wow. That's a nice thought.
And I think the Christmas season, the holiday season, is a nice reminder of how much kindness and generosity can really change a person's life. And I think that's what the world needs right now, is just a lot more kindness.
I couldn't agree with you more. It's been a difficult year, so your message is really well taken. Sometimes it seems like it's hard to do that. There are families that are perhaps not working. There are just so many things that are not normal anymore. So it's all the more reason why it's important to smile, and especially to look forward to seeing someone like you. I'm very, very pleased that you decided to stop by. What do you do the rest of the year? Are you busy? Do you work with your elves and with Mrs. Santa? Give us a little description of what happens in the off season.
After Christmas, we usually take a break until about mid-March, and then we start preparing for next Christmas. We start drafting our naughty and nice list. We start doing our research on what toys and what gifts are going to be popular. And then right around Halloween time, we start really picking things up. Normally, Mrs. Claus and I like to get away for a couple weekends at the beach in our seaside cottage in the summer, but that didn't happen this year.
Okay. You're still up in the North Pole, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My God. Well, you're very capable with the reindeer. You can get around pretty well, I think.
Oh yes.
They can, So you mentioned some time at the beach. I'm sure that they're able to take you to wherever you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrific. But you are busy.
They are very busy.
Through the year. I don't know. I would think that your list keeps growing. There are more kids than ever before, especially here in America. I think there are a lot more kids than there have been. So your lists, do you get a lot of letters and requests by mail on what the kids want?
Oh yes, letters by the thousands every year. That hasn't stopped.
How do you manage? Do you have someone help you read them? Does Mrs. Claus pitch in?
We have a post office at the North Pole, and they help organize all the letters and stuff. And yes, Mrs. Claus, she sits with me, and we have our hot cocoa, and we read the letters together.
Wow, that's got to be a huge project.
It is,
reading
but I
them
enjoy it.
and then setting aside the order for whatever little Johnny wants or little Mary wants, and then accommodate, and then taking it. You've got, when the winter season, or when we get close to Christmas, you've got your hands full.
Oh yeah, but I have a good team behind me that helps me make it all happen, from the reindeer to the elves to Mrs.
How
Claus.
are the reindeer?
The reindeer are good. We're pretty much isolated up at the North Pole, so they get plenty of exercise running around not around the workshop, but around our North Pole estate.
Yeah, they like the snow.
Yes, they love the snow.
Yeah, and they get lots of good exercise, and
Plenty
I'm sure
of exercise.
probably a lot of good food too.
Plenty of good carrots for the reindeer.
Does Mrs. Claus cook?
Oh yes, she does. She's a wonderful cook.
Really?
Yes, of course.
Do you like soups and salads and meat cuts and a little bit of everything, some fish once in a while?
Well, Mrs. Claus would probably say that Santa needs to eat a few more salads. Santa does like his milk and cookies and the occasional steak and slice of pizza.
And dessert.
And dessert. Well, you can't skip dessert. the media has portrayed Santa to have this jolly belly of jelly, and I have to
look-
keep up appearances.
Yeah, no, you look like maybe you lost a few pounds from last year. I'm not sure.
Oh, you're too kind. Maybe, who knows? I try not to look at the scale this time of year.
Yeah.
Ignorance is bliss, as
Out,
they
you mean
say.
out of fear? You don't look at the scale? Is that what you mean?
Out of fear, absolutely
Yeah,
out of fear.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, what do you do for excitement there? What is your? Do you play cards? Do you? I know you mentioned that the two of you try to get a little vacation in before you have to prepare for the next year.
Mm-hmm.
But while you're home, do you have any particular thing? Do you garden at all? Do you are you a television person?
Well,
Any particular?
well, I love to read. I love to read all kinds of books.
Oh, good.
Ever since I was young, I loved making toys, and even now I still tinker in the workshop. You know.
On making the toys.
Yeah,
well, yeah.
I can't stop creating. It's just
Yeah.
what I like to do, and I don't like to watch too much TV, but around this time of year, all my favorite movies start playing on TV again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's that's terrific. It really is. I can't imagine. I really, in many ways, I envy you. I think it would be. There's something nice about being able to not only do so many nice things, bringing gifts and whatnot for so many people, but there's also something to be said about being private. And yet being active, and as you said, reading. I think that's wonderful. It's an opportunity to, because there's always a lot of hubbub going on in society normally, and now with the virus, it's a little bit more difficult. I understand, but still, I think people can very easily waste time. I think it's a good thing. You must look forward, though, to the snow in particular.
Mm-hmm.
And do you work with the reindeer? I mean, do you actually take them out every now and then to give them a test run, so to speak?
Oh,
and
sure.
Are they good? Are they behaving?
They're very good. They're a very well-behaved team of reindeer. We have specific equestrian elves that help train the reindeer in their routines and their tricks and stuff, and I work with them almost once a week.
How is my favorite, Rudolph?
Oh, he's wonderful. He's wonderful. He is the
He
best.
is. I. That's the reason he's my favorite,
Yeah.
because
He was worried his red nose might be a symptom of the virus, but thankfully that was nothing to worry about.
Well, I used to had that red nose for a long time, long
that is
before the
that
virus.
is what I told him, Pat.
Yeah,
But he
yeah.
just got a little nervous. God bless him.
And the others, there's no envy amongst them. They work together pretty well.
Oh, they've been friends for so long. They're a well-oiled machine.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So you can, and you take them for a ride every now and then. I'm sure you must,
Oh, yes.
keep them active.
Yeah, I try not to wear them out, but
Yeah.
it's like when we fly around the world in one night, that's their marathon, and you can't just run a marathon cold. You need to train throughout
Yeah.
the year.
Sure.
So they
Yeah.
definitely get their practice in.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have, I always wonder about, things change every year. Is there a particular kind of gift that the average kid, say the 5 or 6 year old, that they're looking for? Is it still toys, or has it changed and become technology to any extent, or is it a little bit of each? Or do you know what I mean?
I think with the little ones, they're still learning about technology and stuff, so they don't ask for those too much. But they are learning to explore the world and see what's out and about. So at that age, they really start to ask for, bikes and scooters and rollerblades so they can be more active out and about with their friends.
Yeah.
And also at that age, they start asking for puppies. But Santa can't carry all these puppies in his sleigh in one night. So that's more of a mommy and daddy present than a Santa present sometimes.
There are so many things, so many wonderful things. It's so good to see you. There's so many things to talk about. The atmosphere here in our current world has it's changed. It's become a little bit more contentious. Politics has entered the scene. Would you have any special words or suggestions, you know, to tell people about what they should be seeing? What's more important in life? What's the most important thing in life?
Kindness. And
Family.
unity. Kindness, family,
Yeah.
unity, and it's important to remember that we're all on the same team.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, no political parties. We're all one
Happy
nation,
human family.
family.
That's very, very important. And we should be doing things. I think we should be doing things that will keep us happy and level-headed, certainly with regard to politics. How do you see the future, Santa? Do you think things will change a lot, or do you have any notions? I mean, you just go day to day, or do you look for signs, or?
I think one thing that hasn't changed in all these years that I've seen is that the human spirit never wavers. So we will get through this, and we will come out the other end of this situation better, stronger, and more together. And I think that this is really important to remember this time of year. Peace on earth and goodwill towards men.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Sometimes it seems like it's close to getting by us, but we seem to be especially resilient. We come back, even after arguing with someone or having discord of any kind. We seem to come back and remember that we are human. And so your words I think are very well chosen. And the single most important thing is that what you stand for, I think is just a wonderful gift to the whole world. So when you show up at a home or in an area or up in the sky, you know, or even with the reindeer or the elves if they happen to be out, I think it's just a wonderful sign for all people, for all of humanity. You must be aware of that.
Yeah, I am extremely privileged to have the job that I have, and it's not a job that I take lightly. But as you can see right before you, I am just a human being like yourself, like everyone out there watching. So it doesn't take much to wish someone a Merry Christmas or to extend a handshake or not a hug right now, but when there are normal times when you can hug. It doesn't take much to wish someone a Merry Christmas.
No, even to sing a song, even to yell someone or to ring a doorbell and say Merry Christmas. You don't have to go in. You can just offer a Merry Christmas and then go on to the next house. It's really very important. I couldn't agree with you more. Any unusual requests in terms of toys, or, you know, do you get requests from adults?
Not so much. The adults, they know that Santa focuses on the little ones, so they take care of each other.
They leave
I
it.
still keep my eye on all the adults out there. And if they think they could get each other gifts, that's not true. Santa, he has a hand in all that.
Yeah. But when you say you keep your eye on them, you are actually just looking to see that they're being good, they're behaving, and especially for the kids and whatnot.
Well, absolutely. There's no age limit on the naughty list, nor is there an age limit on the nice list.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, there's not.
So you can be naughty at 90.
Of course you can.
Oh my God. Wow. That's something to be concerned with, you know. I would think that's naughty at 90. Wow. I think we should all pay attention to that. I mean, adults in particular. Yeah. Do you have do you stop much? Do you have a chance to see a lot of people? I mean, I'm so happy that you're here tonight. I was thrilled when I got your message that you were still going to be available, and I'm especially thrilled to be able to do another segment of our show, especially with you. Do you have a chance to stop every now and then? Do you have any special places that you stop, or is it when you get tired, or any special routine?
Well, normally, I go to the mall and I take pictures with the kids. This year it's different because I'm further away from them to keep safe. Normally, there's all these events in town that I like to go to, like the tree lighting and the annual Santa breakfast. But we found new ways to do that. Like Santa has his web camera set up at the North Pole, so he can attend these events virtually. So I can still be with the children, but I can be safe. But I love traveling around towns at night and seeing all the Christmas lights set up. In fact, there's a gentleman here who is going around filming all the Christmas lights in town. I think that's wonderful. And I know you really decorate your house for Christmas. I can't wait to see it, Pat.
Oh, yes, I do. I'd love to have you come by.
I will absolutely come by.
I should have it ready in a week or so, and if you're in the area, please stop by.
I will make sure
my
to
wife
keep my
will
eye
be
open.
thrilled. Because of the virus, we've been a little bit not remote, but contained, I should say, like everyone.
Right.
So someone like yourself visiting would be. Do you have any special dishes that you would like? Anything special dish?
Santa loves his cookies.
Okay. My wife makes some terrific cookies. She really does. Yeah.
I remember. Believe me, I remember. But sometimes milk's a little too cold on those December nights, so I like a hot chocolate once in a while.
Okay. Hot chocolate and some special cookies. I will mention that to her, and we'll look for you, hopefully. I know that you're going forward, and I don't know when on your return. Evidently, you come by this way, this particular route every year. So it's such a good thing to see you. It really is such a pleasure.
Well, it's a wonderful town to be in.
Yeah, and I'm especially happy to know that you're okay. Mrs. Claus is okay. Everyone is okay, and you're keeping up with the times to find out what the kids want. How do you get notified? Is it mostly by mail? Do you get calls of any kind?
Well, Santa does do phone calls with the boys and girls every now and then. And I think most of the time, well, the children decide how they want to ask Santa. Sometimes they'll send me a letter, or sometimes they'll give me a phone call, or if I see them when they're taking a picture with me, they'll tell me in person. And I'll always remember.
Yeah.
Santa Claus always comes to town.
I'll bet you have a good memory. You must have a good memory to remember all of that.
Oh yes.
Yeah. What do you? How do you keep the reindeer in particular, or the elves, I should say? How do you keep the? Do they get time off, or do they pretty much work through the year?
They do get time off. Like I said, we take a break after Christmas till about
together, all of you.
Yes, everyone. From,
Sort of close down the shop.
Oh yeah, close down the shop, and the elves. We have many elves working for us, so everyone's had to spread out and be safe. But they're all doing wonderful. It's like a big family, and everyone takes care of each other at the North Pole.
Yeah. And Mrs. Claus does the cooking for all of you.
Yes, she does. Well, she has some assistants in the kitchen.
Oh, some of the elves,
some
they
elf
pitch
chefs,
in and help.
And they all wear gloves, and they all spread out.
Yeah.
It's very safe.
Yeah. It must be a fascinating, I'd love to be able to come and visit. The North Pole is a long way, but from what you tell me, it must be very, very interesting to be there.
Oh, it's a lovely place.
It is.
As I've decided to live there.
What do you like best about about traveling and giving out gifts? Is it to see people happy, or is it the joy of traveling, or what is it that prompts you to? Because it's a lot of work.
Oh, it's that. You just said it. The joy on their faces when they open up the Christmas presents and they see what they got, and that reaction of just,
Can you see them pretty much from when you're up above?
oh, I have a magic crystal snowball that shows me everything in the world.
Exactly the way they react when they
Exactly
open
how they
a gift.
react, yes.
Yeah. Wow. That must be exciting.
It is. It's
You
a
see
beautiful
them,
thing.
they're up in the morning and all of a sudden they're running to the tree and tearing the gifts apart, and you're able to witness that in all of the different homes. That's really something.
It's a wonderful thing on Christmas morning, getting to open
Yeah.
presents with your
Are
family.
you up to date on your technology? Do you have all of the latest and the greatest, not for the gifts, I mean for yourself, in terms of helping you prepare, keeping records, for example, on different children?
Oh yes, Santa has a computer and an iPad and a cell phone, and sometimes Santa doesn't get to work them too well, but Mrs. Claus and the elves help me out. But yeah, we have a large database that keeps control of all the children, and we have digital copies of the naughty and nice
Oh
lists.
my God.
Yeah, we have to keep up with the times because
Yeah.
the world's getting bigger and more advanced.
Yeah. A little bit more complicated. Complicated. Maybe for me. I don't. I can't quite appreciate what I mean by that is, you have a special facility for being able to see what, especially all the kids in the world and what they're looking for and whatnot. That has to be a very, very special gift.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness, I can't imagine. Times are changing, though, aren't they?
They really are. A lot's changed in 1 year, as you've seen.
Yeah.
So much has changed in 1 year.
Yeah. I don't know where we're going. I don't know. I can't imagine how. But you're a tradition. You're a tradition that never quits. You're going to be with your beard, with your reindeer. You're going to be traveling. It doesn't matter. You're the human part of humanity.
Thank
and
you.
that's
It's
important.
very kind.
Like your message that you mentioned earlier, which was so well delivered, and that is that people should learn to like one another, love one another, respect one another. That's important. There's a lot of discord in the world today. There's a lot of people who are animosity. They look forward to you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know it's been a tough year where many events and special occasions have been altered or postponed or even canceled, but it's still December 25th, that day on the calendar. So Christmas is still coming. Christmas isn't canceled. We have to find new ways, new safe ways to still do the things we love. And the most important thing is that kindness is never canceled.
Yeah, very well said. I agree. I know that there are a lot of people who find it difficult to do that, but I think if you keep spreading that message, it has helped in the past. Mm-hmm. It will help in the future, and it certainly is helping right now. What's your favorite, if you're able to spend a little time on your own, if you're left alone for a little bit, is there anything in special that you would, do you like to, I don't know, do you like to watch a little, see what's happening in the world on television, or do you like to read, or do you like to romp in the snow a little bit?
The elves and I have an annual snowball fight that we're gearing up for
I wish
in
I
a
could
few
see
weeks.
that.
Yes. It's quite a sight to see, and I like to help Mrs. Claus bake in the kitchen all the Christmas cookies and treats. This time of year, I love to turn on the TV and watch some of those Christmas movies and Christmas specials, like
Yeah.
Miracle on 34th Street and
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
Wonderful Life and
Yeah.
White Christmas. Those films
Yeah.
never get old for me.
Yeah. But you got to tell me a little more about the snowball fight. Is this Is this just the elves and you?
It's just the elves and me, and it's 4 teams.
Do they all pick on you? Is what I'm getting at, or
Well, I'm on one of the teams, and if any of the elves on my team,
Oh, okay. So you're divvied up into
yes,
teams.
we're divvied up into teams, and
and
it's an all-out snow battle.
And I'm sure you have enough snow so that it must be. I'm trying to picture this. I can imagine.
It's a sight to see. It. You're right. There's no shortage of snow at the North Pole. That's why sometimes we send some extra down to New England.
Don't send too much,
I'll
Santa,
try-
please.
Not this year. I think we've been through enough this year. I don't think New England needs any
Yeah,
extra
send
snow
us
this year.
send us a little extra dose of sunshine
I'll do my
if
best.
you can.
I'll talk to my friend Mother Nature and see what we can do about that.
Do you have many friends here in the well, not in Burlington, but in the New England area?
Well, everyone is Santa's friend.
Everyone I know
Everyone's
is a friend. I
Santa's
mean, any
friend.
special people that you do you stop in to see a mayor or a governor or anyone like that, or only if they call? Or
Well, I know that the mayors and governors are very busy this year, and if I can just give them a phone call to see how they're doing, I will. And sometimes they call me and they ask Santa for some advice.
yeah,
But as they all know, Santa doesn't get involved in politics.
yeah, no politics. They have enough problems. We don't need any politics. I would love to be able to. Have you ever had anyone ride with you in your sleigh?
No one.
No one is allowed.
No, just some elves and Mrs. Claus.
Yeah. Oh, Mrs. Claus goes out with you every now and then.
Oh yes,
But
every
not
now
on
and then.
this run
We
when
take
you're
Sunday
delivering
drives
gifts.
in the sleigh.
Yeah.
Yes.
I never it's a picture I've never. The two of you riding in the sleigh, off to enjoy yourselves someplace. That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
That's a lovely thought.
Mm-hmm.
Really is. It's a wonder someone hasn't painted that or put it in a calendar or something. The two of you, not just yourself. I mean, you spend a lot of time and a lot of mileage on your own delivering gifts, but I mean, the thought of the two of you is something that I find very, very, very interesting, very nice, a very lovely thought.
Well, there's so many wonderful
Okay.
artists out there that have drawn wonderful pictures of me over the years. Some of them make the belly a little too big, but that's okay. But I welcome them to, draw a nice picture of me and Mrs. Claus out on a Sunday drive in the sleigh. I think that would be beautiful. I'd love to see it.
That's a lovely thought. It really is. Out on a Sunday driving the sleigh, the two of you.
Mm-hmm.
Is she a pretty understanding lady, I think?
Oh,
And she's pretty industrious too. She's pretty busy.
Oh yes, she's very patient with Santa. She knows I've got one very important job, and she takes it very seriously too. And she helps me out, which is wonderful.
The elves and the reindeer, they all get along well with her.
Oh yes, like I said, it's not like a big family at the North Pole.
Yeah. I wish I could visit the North Pole.
Maybe someday, if you're really, really good. Not everyone can come to the North Pole. The paparazzi's been trying to get up there forever.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So where are you? What is on your agenda now for the next little bit? Are you off to the immediate area, or are you up and away long term? Are you when you leave here? What happens?
I'll be heading back to the North Pole, and now's when we start planning the route all around the world in one night. Excuse me. And we're still checking on the naughty and nice list, so just because it's close to Christmas doesn't mean the boys and girls can start to slack. They still have to behave, because I can make some last-minute changes to the gifts.
So you make more than one sortie back to the North Pole. You come out, deliver, and go back, reload, come back out again?
Well, we try to do it all in one trip, just one
Oh,
round
that must
trip.
be an awful lot on
Well,
your
it's a
sleigh.
lot of planning. I mean, that's why we start planning the route like now, so we don't waste any time, and we avoid all the traffic.
Your reindeer right now and your sleigh is up waiting for you. What do they do? Come back down as soon as
They're on the roof of the studio right
Of
now.
here?
Yes,
Oh.
just relaxing.
Oh.
Relaxing is a big part of training too.
Yeah. Gee, next year, I don't know if it's even a reasonable request, but love to if you're in the area. And by the way, I have to thank you, on behalf of myself and the whole crew here at BCAT, that you are able to visit with us. You have been very, very faithful. Every year, you manage to stop and spend an hour with us. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure the people here at BCAT and those who are watching, I'm sure, appreciate it too. I have to say a great big thank you. And hopefully, I hope you have, and I'm sure that you will, many, many more years in the future. I don't know exactly how the world is going to change, but as you indicated, there should always be love and respect amongst people.
Absolutely.
All the other stuff, the government stuff and whatnot, that is separate and is not as important as what happens between people.
Yeah, we have to remember to be kind to each other.
Yeah. It's got to
especially
be a
in the
good
tough
feeling for you.
Oh, it is. It's a great feeling to see all the boys and girls treating each other so well and being so patient and understanding with each other, especially this time of year, and checking in on each other, making sure everyone's okay and navigating these tough times. It's a beautiful thing to see the human spirit endure. Excuse me.
How about little characters, I don't know, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, who don't listen to their parents, have a little bit of difficulty? You hear about them, I'm sure. Do you have ways of telling them that, maybe they're not going to get the toys that they want, or unless they behave? Do you have ways of knowing what's going on pretty much?
Well, every parent has a direct line to the North Pole. So if a child is ever acting up, they can just call me, and then they can put the child on the phone with me, and I can give them a little pep talk, and I say, you need to start behaving, or you might not get everything you want this Christmas.
Wow.
And I would say 9 out of 10 times that really turns them around. But it's important to remember that Santa has never stopped giving coal to naughty children, no matter what.
But I can imagine a 5, 6, 7-year-old, when they hear your voice on the phone, they must really, especially if they haven't been good.
Well, you can hear how starstruck they are when they hear the
Really?
ho, ho, ho. You can, there's that moment of silence on the phone.
Yeah.
They're not quite sure it's Santa, and then they realize
Once
they might be in trouble.
Once they hear that ho, 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 yeah, I can imagine. Do you think that better times, in terms of, as you say, people should learn how to love one another, respect one another? That's the most important thing. The other stuff, the business world and the government world and politics and whatnot, that's secondary. Do you think we as a people will become, are we going to be better? I know we can. Do you think we will succeed in becoming more respectful of one another, more loving of one another? People in general, do you think we are on a trajectory to do that, or is it just a hope?
I certainly hope so, and I genuinely believe that we will come out of this stronger and closer than ever before. So it is my hope that we come out of this situation stronger and kinder. And
well, we couldn't ask for a better example. I mean, all you do is ask for people to be good, and you reward them if they are good, young and old. So It's a very, very important message, um, especially here right now in America, because there's a lot of division. I think I agree with you. I think it's very important that they overlook some of that stuff and learn to love one another, to respect one another. Those are probably the single most important things, yeah. And you have a lot of hope in people in general. I mean, you believe that people can be better.
Well, I believe the best in people ever since I was a child.
Yeah.
And that's why I do what I do.
Yeah. I can't imagine you as a child. It's hard for me to imagine.
I was once upon a time.
I mean, you've got this beautiful beard, and you've been around. We've seen you now for, well, here you've been gracious to visit us here, I think the last 5 or 6 years.
Yes, it's been about 5
you've
years,
been here.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but you were a little guy at one time.
I used to be a redhead. And then, time passes.
Did you know you were going to grow into a Santa, to be a Santa, or did you just work at it?
No, I just thought, like, I knew how to make toys, and I just wanted to give them out to family and friends and boys and girls, and I really liked seeing how happy it made them, so I decided.
So it was a bit of a tradition, and you just lived the tradition.
Right, and I decided, why can't I do this for everyone?
Yeah.
My operation got bigger and bigger.
And how about
time went on.
Mrs. Santa? She's got to be about your age, and the two of you have to be, well, I don't know any numbers, but I mean, you're pretty well along in years.
Oh, yes. Our anniversary's coming up, so.
Do you have a gift for her?
Well, I don't want to say on live television.
Okay, all right.
But
just don't forget.
I will. Santa never forgets his anniversary.
All right, okay. Yeah, she might be listening, that's true.
Oh, she's watching.
If you are listening, Mrs. Santa, just think that something good is going to happen, that's all.
Oh, it will.
So, what do you think about, well, I asked you, you have some good feelings about the future. Do you have any reasons for saying that? I mean, do you look at the young people and see them and think that they're maybe a little bit more advanced, a little bit more wary? They know what's going on in the world. Why do you have hope?
I do, and it is ever since I started this, my main focus was making the children happy, and they are the future. They follow our example, and they see what's right and what's wrong, and they carry us into the next generation based on what they've taught and what they understand and what they view the world to be.
So if we behave accordingly,
Right.
the way you described, then they should follow pretty much what we do.
The children are watching, and we have to set a good example for them.
Hopefully, with each generation, they're getting a little bit better. I sometimes see signs that bother me, but I can understand what your hope is, and I certainly hope that what you expect is going to be what's happening. And the single most important part of that, I think, is just believing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And you must have a lot of that. You have to believe.
Yes. I mean, seeing is believing, excuse me, Santa didn't have his milk and cookies tonight. Seeing isn't necessarily believing. I mean, I only come out of my house a few times a year, and people just have to believe that I exist without any little evidence. But here I am. I'm real.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
sometimes the most believable things are the most intangible ones.
But you believe that people will be better too. People, as time goes on, people learn, and we'll always have. I think we'll always have individuals who cause problems of one kind or another. It's part and parcel of the human race. Mm-hmm. But hopefully, as you say, we're getting better morally. We're getting better in terms of how we treat one another. Yeah. Do you ever get people who call and complain about, like, a neighbor or something? Adults in particular?
Oh, once in a while, yes.
And what
And
do
I
you what do you do? What do you tell them?
and I always say it's so easy to get angry or to get frustrated, but it's even easier to say I'm sorry. Well, sometimes it's not easy to say sorry, but it's again, you have to remember we're all working towards the same goal and we're all on the same team.
Hmm.
And it's always important to remember what it's like to be in someone else's shoes, to have compassion and empathy. It's so important to understand what everyone else is going through.
That's very well said. I couldn't agree with you more, Santa. I agree. When you try to imagine what another person feels or the problems that they have, and you empathize, even sympathize with them, then that's critical. That's going forward. Standing by and just chastising someone for what they may or may not have done is not the answer. You're quite a character. You
Thank
really
you.
are quite a character. You know, you're I don't know how to explain it, but I'm so happy that you're part of humanity, that you're part of what we look forward to every year. You're a very, very important part of it. How old are you? Can you estimate?
I don't even remember. I stopped counting
You
years
stopped
ago.
counting? Yeah.
Yeah.
So the point is that you're pretty old and you're still very much a believer in humanity, in people being good
I've
and
been
getting
around,
and getting and with the ability to get better.
I, I've been around for a while, and I've seen humanity go through some real tough spots before and come out the other end stronger. So I believe that will happen again. I really do.
We'll just continue to overcome adversity and get a little bit better with each visiting Christmas.
Exactly.
You know, I cannot think of anything that represents the Christmas spirit more than yourself. Not only a wonderful old tradition, but a person who gives and one who encourages. These are very important things.
Thank you.
I certainly hope that you, and well, I hope for a lot of things, but I certainly hope that you will continue to always visit with us as much as you can. I mean, if it's I know it's probably a little bit of an imposition to ask you to stop. I was so pleasantly surprised when I heard that you were planning, when you called and you said, I'm planning to be in the Burlington area. I'd like to stop in and say hello. I was completely taken. Not that I had forgotten about you. You were in the back of my mind, but I just don't, one doesn't know. I know you're busy. How you are busy. How busy are you? I mean, you get a lot of help, but still, it's an awful lot of work.
It is, but I have a good team, and to say what you said, this BCAT is one of my favorite places to visit, and I was thinking of you too, so I thought maybe I should swing by and see if Pat's at BCAT tonight. And it's been wonderful talking to you too, and yes, I hope this tradition continues, and rain or shine, Santa Claus will always come to town.
Do the reindeer know the way automatically, or do you have to give them instructions? Do they know where they're going on? I mean, what your next shop is?
I trust them that they know the route.
They
They've
know
done
the road
it so
now.
long.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have a favorite reindeer?
Oh, I can't say that. I love them all equally.
You love them all.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same thing with the elves, I would imagine.
Oh, yes.
They're all necessary, and
Well, there's so many. How could I pick a favorite?
Yeah. Wow.
Every elf is unique and special in their own way.
Yeah. And they've been with you now for a long time.
Many, yes. And
Yeah.
we take on new elves every year.
Oh, I was going to ask you that. You do have new elves come in?
Oh yeah, we have an elf university and
Do you
training program.
Do you increase them with the workload? I mean, here in this country, we have more people, more children, more requests, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, some elves, retire, and then sometimes the elves they pick up and
Yeah.
they learn from their parents and they start training.
Do you have any? I don't know how much.
I think we're almost out of time.
Almost out of time.
Yeah.
Can you wish a Merry Christmas to the people of Burlington?
Merry Christmas, Burlington. Have a happy and safe holiday, and don't forget to be kind to one another, because Santa is always watching.
Bravo.
Thank you, sir.
That was very, very good. You did. We're off air?
I think we're...